So now it's time to get started on the setup. And if we look at this image, it's not obvious here immediately, but all of the fishes at the bottom is one player and all of the fish at the top is another player. And in the game, the fish can move like a chess queen. So as far as they want in any given direction, orthogonally and diagonally. We need to start in the graphics file and in the icons object here, because this is the source of truth for what unit groups are available in the game. That is not totally obvious. This is a bit of bad nomenclature here on my part. So let's call this group Sardines. And what should a sardine look like? Like, which chess piece should we use to represent them? They could be queens, just to show that they have the same movement, or they could just be pawns, really. For now, I'm going to go with queens. It can be discussed, but I think it makes it intuitive how they move. And since queens or sardines, sorry, is now a unit type, we can start adding that to the basic setup. We can again look at a game that has an original setup like bombardment, and we see that this is the same syntax as for the terrain with owners. So for our sardines, we want to, for player 1 and 2, define where they begin. So we have player 1 sardines and we have player 2 sardines. And in Chessicles, I've made it standard that player 1 starts at the bottom. So we can again use the rectangle with hole to define this. We should have sardines for player 1 in a rectangle from A1 to, what is it? Is it H? Yes, H1. But it should be a whole rectangle because we want to exclude E1. And then for player 2, we want the same thing, but 9. So now we're adding sardines to the initial setup. We have said that they should be rendered as a queen. All good. We need to rerun the graphics command. Eventually, I will make my file watcher smarter, the one that makes me not have to run the analyze command, so that it can also see that if specifically I edit the graphics file, then it can regenerate the SVG graphics and so on. But that's in the future. If we go back here, we see that we still cannot see any units here, even though we have updated the graphics and we have them in the setup, and we're always using the basic setup by default. However, what we are seeing here on this landing page for the game is actually a demo, as we can see if we go to another game. And the demo we will be adding later on. For now, it's enough to know that the initial demo created by the stub command is done from our unit tests, which is just a single frame that are empty. But since this has already been generated, I need to regenerate the demo, npm run process demo. So if we do that, it will still just be a single frame, of course, but it should use the proper setup. Oh, wow. Maybe I do need to rerun the compile command after all. Yes. So we need to recompile, we need to update the demo, and then here is our initial setup. And we can see I made a mistake. Oh, it's 9 by 9, of course. It's not 8 by 8. So the initial setup should be to I1 and I9. So we need to recompile. Or actually, I don't think I need to do that now. That's probably enough just to add the unit layer. Probably it was enough the second time to just regenerate the demo. So there we go. Now we have the finished setup for Can the Sardines.